We all remember our favorite childhood shows, bright colors, catchy theme songs, lovable characters. But looking back, some of them were seriously messed up. Hidden behind the fun animation and kid-friendly vibes were episodes that haunted us. Themes of death, abandonment, and scenes too dark for Saturday mornings. Whether it was unsettling animation or straight-up existential dread, these shows were not okay. So grab your cereal, dim the lights, and brace yourself, because today on Rewind Zone, we're diving into 10 kids shows from the past that were surprisingly dark. 1. Courage the Cowardly Dog. 1999-2002. This wasn't a cartoon. It was a horror anthology in disguise. Courage lived in Nowhere, a desert town constantly haunted by ghosts, demons, and disturbing creatures. From the freaky, return the slab mummy to the eerie, you're not perfect scene, this show constantly flirted with psychological horror. The surreal animation, dead-eyed villains, and themes of isolation made Courage feel more like a fever dream than a kid's show. It was genius, sure, but let's be honest, some episodes were pure nightmare fuel that still mess with our heads today. 2. Are You Afraid of the Dark? 1990-1996. A group of kids, the Midnight Society, gathers in the woods to tell ghost stories. Sounds fun, right? But these weren't your average spooky tales. This show got seriously dark, featuring demons, haunted hospitals, vengeful spirits, and kids being trapped in alternate dimensions. One episode even ends with a girl stuck forever inside a mirror. The show didn't just scare, it left you feeling uneasy, like something wasn't right. For a Nickelodeon show, it pushed boundaries hard, and it got away with it. 3. Watership Down, TV series, 1999. Animated rabbits, that's what you expect. What you get? Mass death, bloody fights, and a grim allegory for war and fascism? Based on the already traumatizing 1978 film, this series somehow made things worse. Cute bunnies are routinely torn apart, buried alive, or killed by a totalitarian regime of other rabbits. It looks innocent until it isn't. This was existential horror masquerading as a cartoon, and it left a lot of 90s kids permanently scarred. If you watched it as a child, you probably remember how it felt, not just what happened. 4. The Secret World of Alex Mack, 1994-1998. Teenage girl gets hit by a truck carrying experimental chemicals and gains mutant powers. Sounds like superhero stuff, right? But this show took a dark turn fast. Alex was constantly hunted by a sinister corporation, experimented on, and isolated from her friends. Some episodes explored surveillance, loss of identity, and the fear of being turned into a lab rat. The whole vibe was paranoid, like she was being watched at all times. It wasn't just coming-of-age drama. It was a corporate conspiracy thriller, and that's what made it 1995-1998. It was meant to be spooky fun for kids, but Goosebumps pulled no punches. Remember Slappy the Dummy? That evil ventriloquist doll traumatized a generation. And The Werewolf of Fever Swamp? Nightmare City. Episodes frequently featured kids dying, turning into monsters, or being permanently cursed. And unlike other shows, Goosebumps rarely gave you a happy ending. Most episodes ended on a twist, a dark one. You'd turn off the TV wondering what just happened and whether the monsters might be real, because for a moment, they really felt like they were. 6. The Animals of Farthing Wood, 1993-1995. You think Bambi was sad? This UK import made Bambi look like a birthday party. A group of forest animals flee environmental destruction to find a new home. Along the way, they are hunted, starved, crushed, burned, drowned, and poisoned. Beloved characters died, often on screen without warning. This show tackled death, betrayal, and the cruelty of nature in a brutally honest way. It was beautifully animated, but emotionally shattering. Parents thought it was educational. Kids knew the truth. It was trauma TV dressed up in animal fur. 7. Invasion America, 1998. DreamWorks tried to launch a sci-fi cartoon empire with this show. What they created instead was one of the most intense, violent, and emotionally heavy cartoons ever aired on primetime. Invasion America told the story of a teen who discovers he's half alien and caught in the middle of an intergalactic war. It featured assassinations, genocide, and a shadow government hiding the truth from Earth. This wasn't just action-packed. It was drenched in dread. Unfortunately, the show was canceled early, but those who watched it remember just how shockingly adult it felt. 8. Batman, the animated series, 1992 to 1995. Yes, it's legendary. Yes, it won Emmys. But also, way too dark for kids. This noir masterpiece introduced themes of madness, addiction, grief, and psychological trauma. The villains weren't cartoonish, they were tragic. Mr. Freeze's origin story? Devastating. Clayface melting in agony? Haunting. Even Batman himself was portrayed as a deeply damaged soul. The atmosphere, music, and shadowy animation felt more like a crime thriller for adults than Saturday morning fun. It shaped a generation, but it also made a lot of us question morality way earlier than we were ready for. 9. Mighty Max 1993 to 1994. Based on a toy line, this show had no business being as dark as it was. Max was a kid chosen to travel through time and dimensions, battling ancient evils, undead warriors, and even fate itself. His companions were an immortal chicken warrior and a stoic bodyguard, who, spoiler alert, dies in one of the most heartbreaking finales in kids' TV. This show tackled the apocalypse, death, sacrifice, and death. 2014. Technically newer, but it belongs on this list. A fall-themed miniseries that became an instant cult classic, Over the Garden Wall was haunting, poetic, and filled with allegory. It followed two brothers lost in a mysterious forest, encountering ghosts, cults, a soul-stealing beast, and creeping dread at every turn. It explored death, regret, and the fear of the unknown in a storybook-style world. Every episode felt like a puzzle, and by the end you weren't just watching a show, you were feeling something deeper. It hit hard, especially if you've ever felt truly lost. So, what were we watching back then? Behind the bright animation and silly voices were stories that made us afraid, emotional, and strangely aware of life's darker truths. Maybe that's why they stuck with us. They weren't just entertainment, they were experiences that left a mark. Some traumatized us, some made us grow up faster, but all of them proved one thing. Children's TV was way braver than we realized. Which of these shows messed you up the most? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to Rewind Zone for more deep dives into the wild, weird, and unforgettable world of retro television. Smash that like button if any of these shows left you speechless. Hit the bell so you never miss your weekly blast from the past.